Hello, thank you for tuning in to my official YouTube channel, Reverend MeeLing here, also known as Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle, so on and so forth. So I am going to pull up to the building that the police officer had stopped me at. Well, came in and asked me questions. If I'm accurate, I think that was where I had been at the time of 2017 when on my Medal of Honor art project trip, when attempting to take my son from the Montana vortex to the Tibetan Buddhist monastery with the Thousand Buddha labyrinth. And unfortunately, because of the traffic issues, I was not able to do so. Now, there were points where in regards to from Columbia Falls through to, I think this is just outside of Polson, Montana, where the traffic lane going one way had opened up to 2 lanes, but then the female who was driving the red Hyundai had straddled both lanes, and with such a small shoulder, there was no way for me to actually go around that red Hyundai without having a collision with that car. And so the police officer from Montana that had pulled up over there, he was extremely kind. He had, although I knew he was there to ask me, I didn't realize what it was about. However, I had been essentially asked, about drunk driving, which was a big shock to me because I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol at all. And so, but apparently there was a report in regards to me drunk driving, and realistically because the person who called in to complain said I was weaving in and out of traffic, and realistically I was weaving to get around her slow driving. And if she had not straddled the dotted line in the middle, I would not have had to go around her if she had picked one lane or the other. However, because Montana has a lot of mountains, and my son being in the car, as well as my Medal of Honor art project pieces, there was no way for me to go around that female with the male passenger and then the 2 to 3 females in the back seat of the car without colliding. Now, granted, if I had collided with that red Hyundai, I would have hit her in a specific way where she would have gone over the side of the cliff of the mountain. However, I didn't want to teach my son that type of driving. Though I would guesstimate the people behind us probably would have appreciated that in certain regards. But this is not, a contact sport when it comes to driving at all. And with my Medal of Honor art project and all that sort of stuff, my son being first and foremost when it came to the safety aspects, and then my Medal of Honor art project, being the secondary safety aspects. And not saying that I'm not as important, but my son is obviously extremely important to me, just as my daughter is extremely important to me. And so in regards of my Medal of Honor art project, because of the seriousness that I had taken in regards to doing it correctly, I did not want to have that as a problem. And so I'm a couple of miles from Ronan, Montana, and so hopefully in that regard, that assists with certain law enforcement aspects. Because I would guesstimate that it would have been the female from that red Hyundai and or one of the other passengers from that red Hyundai who had called 911 from one of their cell phones. And if it was a contract cell phone, then there would be the ease of finding those records to be able to verify that, because if I'm not mistaken, it is illegal to make a false report to police officers. And if, hypothetically, those individuals had been stalking me during my Medal of Honor art project, and the GPSs in their cell phones would be able to prove that tracking aspect throughout various years, or even just that year, then the availability for law enforcement to find those particular individuals would be made quite easy for them to do so. If that is that important, although causing a traffic issue, now I'm entering Ronan, Montana, if that traffic issue, because she had not gotten out of the way for anybody, and just continued with the traffic issues, if that is a legal aspect for the officials in the state of Montana, and or because of if hypothetically there is the stalking aspect, then there is the point of, I think that would be under FBI and or U.S. Marshal jurisdiction. However, because of my Medal of Honor art project and the majority of Medal of Honor recipients earning their Medal of Honor overseas, then that could possibly also hypothetically be CIA territory. I don't know. I'm not specifically in the government of the United States of America in the various law enforcement branches and divisions. So I did not drink alcohol. I haven't had alcohol in years, and even still, the little bit of alcohol that I've ever had is at most half a shot of Bailey's mixed with coffee, and not just one cup of coffee, multiple cups of coffee, the equivalent of half of a 12-cup pot of coffee for that little half a shot of Bailey's. And then I can't, and then I don't even drive because I'm such a lightweight. And so I won't drink and drive also for many reasons, because I've known people who have suffered from certain aspects of that. And so, if hypothetically that's a legal issue, hopefully this particular official broadcast on my YouTube channel will assist that. And so you guys have a good one. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. And please do send to the, I don't know who, but law enforcement for Montana. So that way, they're able to have that. Although I did already send a letter to the Montana governor. So I don't know if he was in office in 2017 or she was in office in 2017. However, I'm sure that maybe somebody somewhere knows what I am talking about in the state of Montana. That being said, you guys have a good one.